Hey people, I'm gonna quick up. I'm gonna, I'm going to whip up. I like that quick up. That works for me. I'm gonna quick up a quick meal, my dinner. So I do a dinner for one, vegan, straight edge, and low carb. So it's 15 grams of carbs, no more, no less, and it is made for me because I am a reactive hypoglycemic. Not everybody has hypoglycemia, but if you're trying to lose a couple of pounds and you're doing something like keto, you want to do something like keto, but you're vegan, this is a recipe that can work for you if you're trying to really reduce carbs, trying to eat right. I include a lot of vegetables, everything's vegan, plant-based meats, and basically keto is not that healthy for you, but low carb is better for you than eating a lot of carbs. So it's a balance of carbohydrates, not overeating. In American society, we really overeat too many carbs. So if you go and you go shopping and you're busy and then you just load your cart down with a bunch of frozen dinners, you may not realize that those frozen dinners have tons of fat. The frozen dinners, they have so many carbs, and people eat them in one sitting. They eat them for dinner, for lunch, whatever, and they have like 150 sometimes grams of carbohydrates. That is a ridiculous amount of carbohydrates for one sitting. Now, I am not a doctor, but looking at the way things have been going for me, looking at my diet, looking at nutrition from my perspective as a reactive hypoglycemic, I just have to tell you, I think that Americans are consuming way too many carbs, and they could be eating 6 times a day instead of 3 times a day. A lot of people say eating several meals a day and grazing, works for them. But I really like this diet for me, eating 6 times a day, small portions, and reduced amount of carbs, but not skipping carbs or depriving myself of carbs entirely. Okay, I don't really care about fat anymore. I used to deprive myself of fats because I was trying to keep my weight down. Now, I don't care so much about fats. Look how much olive oil I've eaten probably in a week. Okay, 2 weeks maybe. So this is what we're going to do. I've got a pan here, and I'm going to start cooking some Impossible meat. So what I'm going to start with is some olive oil. Like I said, I don't really care how much olive oil I'm putting in anymore. I used to care. So you can get my face and the pot. Can we get my face and the pot? Okay, there we go. And then I have Impossible meat, and I just put the whole darn thing in a plastic bag. Typically, I would rather use a plastic, like a reusable plastic bag, because these put a lot of plastic in the environment. Okay, on the earth, these don't biodegrade very quickly. It's very wasteful. It will put microplastics in your system. So basically, we use a lot of plastic, and it's very unhealthy for us and the environment. So if you have cooked with Impossible meat, this is what Impossible meat looks like. Now, don't be afraid of how it looks. It looks sort of pink and gray, maybe grayish sometimes. That's not bad Impossible meat. Okay, some people just find that kind of disgusting, but it's not bad. And it should be a little bit pink. If it's gray, I would pass it up for a pink one. Okay, and there's little pockets of fat, little pieces of fat in there. It's probably like, I don't know, it's kind of like coconut oil or something. It's just oil that has solidified. And then Impossible meat has 9 grams of carbs for 4 ounces. So this has 3 servings per container. Okay, mathematically, I am eating a fourth of this package in every meal that I cook with it. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, and I cut it right in the middle. So that is actually less than 9 grams of carbs per serving. So what I need to do is add a tortilla, or make a hamburger and add a bun or something like that to add a few carbohydrates to my meal. But with this, I will have 15 grams of carbohydrates from the tortilla, a few grams of carbohydrates from the cheese, because I'm going to use vegan cheese, and then 9 grams of carbs from the meat. So it's a little bit more than I should probably get what's recommended, but it'll be okay as long as I don't overdo it. And I've never felt bad after eating this meal. So it's in the 20 grams of carbs range, sort of. It's like 25 grams of carbs. As long as it's under 30 grams of carbs per sitting, it's probably going to be fine. And also, I just want to tell you, that's 19 grams of protein. I have to have a high protein diet. Okay, I have to put protein in each of these 6 meals somehow, and they're very small portions. So I need a lot of protein because I'm highly active. I ride a scooter every day. Some people don't know that gives you exercise. I'm on my feet all day long at work. And then I also dance, and I'm a mover and a shaker. So I am just animated, and I need a lot of protein, and I've lost weight, so I'm a lot more light on my feet now. And I've built muscle, so I just scoop out a fourth. Oh, I didn't turn my pan on. Turn your pan on low heat. So, it's like between medium and low. Sort of put it there. And these are tips for Impossible Meat that I'm giving you, because Impossible Meat is not beef. It is not beef. It is not the same as beef. So what I like to do is I just put it in the pan. See, with beef and chicken and any meat, any actual animal meat, you're going to get a lot of bacteria like salmonella and what's that other... E. coli. You're going to get tons of that. You get it on your hands when you're working with it. You get it on the counter. You get it in the pans. It's just, there's so much more work with cleaning because you have to disinfect everything. And when I started using plant meats and just having plants in my apartments and just in my homes, I felt so much more safe and secure that I wasn't living in the bacteria, the salmonella, the E. coli. I wasn't spreading that, and I wasn't constantly living in that environment and constantly cleaning and disinfecting because I was so afraid of the spread of E. coli and salmonella. I was very afraid of that when I started cooking because I knew better. I knew I was going to have to clean all the time, and that people don't clean well enough when they cook with meats. So I'm going to get a little bit of my sea salt, pink sea salt that kind of sticks together, and I'm just going to put a little bit. Now I am starting to put too much salt for some reason. I've lost my touch. So I'm going to just put a little bit of the sea salt. Now sometimes what I like to do is put a few mushrooms in this mixture, but today I don't feel like it. So I am just going to cook the meat. And so what you are going to notice is the meat is going to be pink and gray. When it's grayer, it is more cooked. Kind of like beef. When it's grayer, it's more cooked. And because I like to make Impossible Meat not too crispy and not too wet and moist. I don't like I personally never did like really moist meats. Even when I did eat meat, I didn't like it. So I don't like cooking my plant-based meat like that either. I like it sort of in between, where it's not like feeling rare and it's not feeling crispy. For crispy, sometimes I do like something sort of crispy, like tofu in the air fryer. I like that to be kind of crispy. So by the way, I did put a lid on this, and I did it because then it's going to retain moisture and retain flavor and mix in there with the olive oil. And then also, I don't like a lot of splatter, so I'm a really big person for keeping clean as I go, as opposed, and these are life tips and hacks for people on the go. I am an on the go artist. I work 35 to 40 plus hours a week, and I am also an artist the rest of the time, and I'm a neat freak, so everything has to be clean. And then, you know, I have a life, not much of a life socially outside of this. I'm very busy, and some people think I seem lonely because I don't have a lot of social life and a social time, and they don't see me interacting with a lot of people. But this is really how I prefer things, because I'm kind of introverted, and I am an artist and a performance artist, and I am into theater and acting and things, but I really prefer in some ways for people to be on the other side of the room. You know, I'm kind of into the idea of being on stage, but not necessarily interacting with people directly all the time. That's a lot for me. So this lifestyle works for me. But here's a life tip, hack. Put the lid on the pan so it doesn't splatter all over the place, so you cut down on having to clean up after yourself all the time. I am a person who eats very carefully, so I don't like spill, and so that I don't get little crumbs everywhere and things. The crumbs will be the death of me, seriously. And one thing is, I only really clean one time a week, but I can't stand it. But I am so busy and so tired that when I come home, I just want to eat and relax, and I will ignore everything. I will ignore the cleaning that needs to be done. I will ignore that that I did do a spill on my placemat, and then I'm just going to throw it in the wash at the end of the week. I have a cloth placemat. I was using paper towels a lot. I did not like that, so I bought a cloth placemat so that things will fall from my plate onto that placemat, and then I can shake it in the trash and then throw it in the wash. So I've been talking too much. Let me stir this. Okay. You see, it gets a little bit on the pan. It gets a little bit stuck on the pan. So it's splattering a little bit, but there's enough fluids in there. So it's pretty much perfect. I'm going to turn down the heat a little bit to low heat and keep that going. So what I am going to do now is I'm going to put away the rest of the Impossible meat. I don't want that left out. It's only been left out for a few seconds. A few minutes, actually. But keep in mind, this is not beef. Okay, it's not beef. I hate that. That's the bane of my existence. Right there is trying to close Ziploc bags. Okay, so there's that. I have baby spinach to put on my taco. Now, you may think that's a weird combination, but do you realize that your lettuce has like literally very, very few nutritional perks? I mean, your lettuce, like your iceberg lettuce, come on. Switch it for spinach or kale. And I know you may say kale, ooh, that is like really like the texture, it's very tough. But if you get like baby kale or something like that, just switch it out, because there's a lot more nutritional value to the spinach. Okay, I have a tomato and I have an avocado, and I'm going to cut that. And I have a Mission tortilla. Apparently my counter was wet. Mission tortilla, plant-powered protein Mission tortilla. It's the last one, so I'm not concerned about that bag being wet. So I'm going to cut up the tomato and an avocado. Now there's an avocado pack, Hass avocados at Target, a little pack like this, and it gives you 5 avocados, and they go ripe pretty much around the same time or one right after another, but the first day that you get them, they're not really ripe enough to eat. So you probably, if you want to eat an avocado, but you want to have avocados all week, your plan is to get an avocado that you like the ripeness of, and then you'll have these avocados to eat all throughout the week after this one. And I like avocados that are a little bit, just a hint green. Just the tiniest bit sort of green in color, but black for the most part. So greenish black, because I like them to be a little bit firm. I hate mushy, and I just can't stand dark spots in fruit. I can't stand it. Fruit and vegetables should not have dark spots. I will avoid that like the plague. I will cut that out and not eat it. Okay, so switch you over here. And see, this is my kitchenette, guys. It's not very glamorous, but I still cook vegan meals here. I cook for myself. I don't cook for anyone else. This is my own private little pad, my little artist pad. And so, and here's my cutting board. I'm just gonna cut up this tomato. Let's see, how can I do this? Now the way you cut a tomato, I have learned, is you have to be very careful because you can cut your fingers. And this is not a real knife for cutting vegetables, I'll have you know. It's serrated. This is a steak knife. Okay, these are really cheap, but I still cut with them because I have no space for a real knife set in here. I really don't. Like, literally, this is like this is not enough for me. I want a really nice big kitchen and a spacious loft. That's my dream as an artist, but this is what I have. So this is what I work with. So you take your fingers and, well, let's see how I can do this. So you take your fingers and you hold it like this so that your nails are sort of digging into the vegetable or the fruit. But what I'm just gonna do is I'm just gonna flip it this way and keep my hands out of it. Because basically, I'll tell you what, oops, see, I could have cut myself right there. I'll tell you what, you don't need too many tomatoes for this. And this tomato has been in the refrigerator for a little while. So I'm going to make a little snack with my tomato. I'm gonna eat it with salt. And I'm gonna do the same thing with my avocado. Yeah, this avocado is ready to go. It just opened right up. So, check on this. Okay. I'm turning that off. I haven't been checking on it, but it's still okay because I just got distracted. But you know, it's going to be a little bit crunchy. All right, I didn't say I was a professional, folks. I just said this is how I live my life. There's a little bit of salt. And I am going to cut this avocado like so into 3 parts like that. And then I'm just going to remove the skin and it'll come right off. So we have this shape. This is a good shape for a taco, I think. All right. Now, I need to do the tortilla. Now, what I would just say in traditional Mexican households, when you cook a tortilla, you just put it right on the flame. You don't use a pan to cook it with. So that's kind of what I have been doing. And some people think that's kind of dangerous, but it's a tip. Oh, look. So I've turned the flame on just to low. And here is my tortilla. And then you just lay it right there like that. And this is because this happened right here. This happened, and you might think it happened because I was cooking tortillas. But it did not happen because I was cooking tortillas. It happened because there wasn't a brand new oven in here, and it was too big for the area. It was too big, and so when I went to cook with a pan, the pan connected to the wall, and that's the thing, is it was so big that like the ranges were touching up against the refrigerator. So what I'm just saying is that oven, they had to remove it because it was much too large for this spot. Okay, so, and then some people like a little bit of like a lot of browning, and they like a lot of, you know, maybe like some charred areas to their tortillas. I don't really care for that because that causes, what am I searching for in my head? Free radicals. It causes free radicals. That's why you don't want to burn your food. Don't ever burn your food. It causes free radicals. So here is how I'm going to assemble my taco, and I'm going to eat it right in front of you because you don't even need a plate for this meal. So this is the Daiya Mexican Blend Shreds. I think this is pretty much the best Mexican shred that you can get. And this is how much I put. Just a little handful. Then I'm going to take the meat right after. That's a life hack. When you're making a taco, take the meat right after. You put your tomato slices and some avocado slices and a little bit of spinach on top, and that's almost too much. What would be really good is basil leaves. That would be delicious. And then I have an Olipop, so I like to eat that with my meal. Some people would even say this is girl dinner, you know, for hypoglycemic. So I really like this roasted chipotle or chipotle, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, Good and Gather salsa. Now, I will tell you, this is the best salsa that I have found at any grocery store. I prefer pico de gallo. I prefer something that is homemade. This has real chipotle peppers in it, and it gives it a really good flavor. So I just put that on top. A little bit of that. Open the Olipop. I like sweet and salty together. Let me smooth this. Okay, there is my taco right there. And I'm going to show you how to roll this up. Okay, I roll the taco like this because there's so much I'm trying to eat in the taco. So I roll the bottom up, and then I roll the sides, and I failed at, when I worked in a burrito place, I failed. I failed. Seriously. I'm not good at rolling burritos, but it works, people, and I just eat it over the sink. And I know this is going to be crazy to some of you who eat every meal at a table, but you guys live a little. Seriously. It ended up a little bit crunchy, the Impossible meat, but still with a lot of flavor. And you know what? You win some, you lose some. I never said that it was going to be perfect, but I need to eat, so that's what you get. Okay. I eat pretty much everything that I buy. And I know that sounds crazy or like it can't be done, but that's a tip that, one of the only tips that I picked up from my mother that I have any respect for. And she used to say, waste not, want not. And you know what? I don't know how, but I absorbed this concept of eating everything that you buy and eating every small bit. So sometimes you have a little more, sometimes you have a little less. And also saving money. So I only used half the avocado. I'm not going to throw this out. I'm going to use a reusable bag. Okay? And then eat vegetables as a snack. If you have a leftover vegetable, eat it as a snack. Don't throw it out. And also don't waste it. Don't let it sit in your refrigerator going bad. Incorporate that into a meal. Don't think it's gross to mix vegetables into, whatever. Be creative. Bye, Paps, people. Have a good day.